Hey, can you hear me? Good, good. I'm not supposed to tell you this. They've been lying to you. They've been lying to you for a while now, since you was a kid. And I know you're probably saying, what am I talking about? They told you there was 7 jobs or 7 careers that you could pursue that would mean you were successful in life, right? Think about it. Take a moment and think about what I'm saying. 7. Check it out. You could be an athlete. You can be an entertainer. You could be a doctor. You could be a lawyer. You can be a policeman. You can be a fireman. Or you can be an entrepreneur. We're going to change that today, right? This is the start of us changing what the society has told us the only ways that we can have successful careers are, right? And that's the purpose of this channel, right? So I appreciate y'all tuning in to the inaugural episode of We.L.I.T. My name is Marcus Coleman. I hope I can add some value to you guys' lives and impact you, and hopefully you can add some value to mine as well. So before we get too deep into this episode, please like, subscribe, comment below. The feedback is greatly appreciated. I have something that I'm passionate about right now, and I'm hoping it's going to be able to add some value to you. And I really appreciate any feedback you do give me, good or bad, right? Because I want to be able to have a long-standing relationship with you guys and provide content and information that you find valuable. And if you can give me feedback, like I said, whether it's good or bad, I can take that, utilize that, and hopefully get better each time that we connect as well. And so we're going to talk about today's episode really is what we're good at versus what we're passionate about, right? And there's a difference on that. So I need you to understand that. And so when we're thinking about careers that we want to pursue or careers that we want to we have interest in, there are things that we are naturally just good at, right? Certain people are born with certain gifts and others are born with different gifts, right? So you may hypothetically run fast. So they may say, hey, you're good at running. Maybe you should go be an athlete. Maybe you should run track, or maybe you should play football, right? A person may be good at math, and they may say, maybe you should go be an accountant, right? Or a mathematician, right? And so things that we're naturally good at are just those are God-given talents or gifts that we came with. That doesn't mean that those are what we're passionate about, right? Because there's a big difference on that, right? And a lot of times when it comes to things that we're good at, society or people will tell you that's the career that you should go down, right? You should pursue a career in that. You run fast, you should go be a professional athlete, right? If you're tall, you're 6'8", they're going to say, I know you play sports, no matter what you do in life, right? So understand that is typically, from my experience, other people putting their dreams or their aspirations on you, right? And before I go any further, I want to say this, and I make sure I want to emphasize this as much as I can. This is your life. You need to do what works for you, right? Not what other people say you should do. You need to know when you're 80, 90, 100 years old that you tried to do everything and you've emptied your tank in all your passions and things that you wanted to pursue in life, right? You don't want to be 80, 90 and say, well, I wish I would have went down this because I always wanted to be a teacher, or I wish I would have did this. I always wanted to direct movies, right? So you don't want to live with regrets. So the purpose, what we're going to do, and as we kind of build out this platform of discussion, is we want to make sure that if you're 18, 19, 20, that you're really starting to focus or think about these things, because you're getting that, your parents, your uncles, your older people. If you're in college, you got people that are your advisors, your professors. If you're working a job, you've got managers, people that are a little bit more older than you that you work with, are really kind of telling you what you should be doing, right? And sometimes it comes from a place of love, right? So it's not, and I'm not saying you should ignore it or you should not pay it any attention, right? But ultimately, what needs to happen is you need to do what's going to make you feel fulfilled the most and pursue it unapologetically. Now you need to plan and execute, and you have to be able to live with the win or the loss, right? It may not go as you plan, but you at least tried, right? Don't be afraid to fail. Pursue everything, push towards your dreams. I'm an advocate of that. Leave no stone unturned, right? But so coming back to what we're good at, right? Like I said, other people will tell you these things because they see a pathway that maybe they wish they would have the opportunity to take. They see you have certain skills, your talents, things that are just naturally come to you, and they wish that they had those, or that they could be able to pursue that career in their lives, right? And so a lot of times we deal with society, a lot of people placing their dreams and their aspirations on us. And that's where you got to mentally be able to block that out, right? And be like, what do I want? What do I feel good about? What do I feel passionate about, right? Because what you're good at, it may pay you well, right? I'm going to be honest with you, right? It may pay you well. It may pay you more than what you even anticipated, but you're not going to feel fulfilled. It's just going to help you check the box, and people are going to look at you and say, okay, he's doing a good job. But you're internally, what you need to feel, or what you feel is the most important thing in this whole aspect of life, or careers on it as well. And we're talking about careers, but this is something that's really a part of life, right? Beyond just your job or your day-to-day, right? And people will tell you different things. You've got to be able to block out the noise, know who you should listen to, know who you shouldn't listen to as well, and understand that you can take all the information in and then break down what's worth for you to retain and what's worth getting rid of as well. So just think about that when we're talking about what we're good at. Now I want to shift this piece to what we're passionate at, right? Because what we're passionate at is typically the most fulfilling thing that we find in life. It is going to bring us the most amount of joy, the most amount of being alive. It is going to add longevity to your life, right? Because when we think about people that are successful, or even some of those jobs that I mentioned, right? An athlete, you've probably heard Michael Jordan say, even if he wasn't getting paid, he would still play professional basketball, right? Or LeBron James say the same thing, right? It's not because the money's great; they've been getting paid well, and by all means, I think they would not give the money back, but they loved what they did first and foremost, and that was a way for them to feel fulfilled most in life. And what I mean by that is things that we're typically passionate about. When we think about those things, or those things that we're interested in, it's typically not money or monetary related. When we think, hey, I want to be entertainer, or I'm passionate about creating music, right? The first thing that comes to your mind is not money. It's the ability to be able to create something artistically that you can connect with others, and hopefully build a stronger bond, or impact the world in a better way as well. So, what we're passionate about is going to allow us to just have a more fulfilling life. Now, when we look at those two versus what we're good at versus what we're passionate about, I'm going to be honest with you. I can't lie to you. What we're passionate about potentially might not pay as much as what we're good at, right? So think about that, right? You could be really good at biology, and you could have all the makings to be a doctor, right? But you may be passionate about directing movies, right? And I know you're thinking about the big Steven Spielbergs and those individuals there as well. But a lot of directors, they don't start out at that level, right? And so I bring those two up is because one may have you start out at a pretty high income, whereas one may have you start at a lot lower level of money wise, and you may grow to that level, or you may not, right? So you want to think about that, right? And just be aware or cognizant of that that aspect of when you're choosing between those two. Now you could potentially kind of do what you're good at, right? And allow that to build up enough comfort or stability to be able to transition into what you're passionate about. So a lot of times, you'll see people that have been in an industry, they've done a job for 15 or 20 years, built up enough sizable amount of assets or wealth, and then they transition to a business that may be a bed and breakfast, right? A very small, quaint, intimate thing. It's something that they just wanted to do. They find passion in as well. And so they may have left a high paying job, but they built up enough security to be able to transition to that and be able to enjoy that for the duration of that career as well. So it doesn't mean that you can't do what you're good at, but you want to start to figure out how you can get aligned to what you're passionate at, right? And the other element of what you're passionate at is you're going to inspire others. The big thing is you doing what's best for you and pursuing your career and pursuing things that you're passionate about, but indirectly, you will inspire others to pursue their passions, right? And it's kind of deep when you think about that, right? It's whether people know you or don't know you, you have the ability to impact others to pursue their passion or their calling. A good quote, I might misquote it a little bit on there as well, but I think Steve Harvey said it, but it goes, your talent or what you're good at, that may get you paid more, right? But your passion or your calling, that's what you were made for. So think about that, right? You're what you're good at, what your talent is, right? It may just get you paid more. You may just be talented on that. You may be good. It may provide a good means for you. You may, have a good life, right? But what you're passionate at or what your purpose is, that's where your calling, that's where your fulfillment, that's where your greatest reward is going to be, right? And so the more you pursue your passion, from my experience and things that I've seen, the more that other things open up. You won't, never look at it like you have to have just one passion, right? You may start this, push towards this passion, and you're going to evolve as a person, right? Who you are today is not going to be the same person you are 5 years from now. And if you are that same person, then you didn't get lit with us, right? Because we improving together, we winning every day, right? So, you can start a passion and it'll evolve to another passion or to multiple passions. So, always realize that this is your passion, but it could evolve on it. But if you pursue your passion, your purpose, your calling, the opportunities will open themselves up if you stay persistent and consistent towards that passion, right? And to bring it back to a situation where I said you can inspire others, I got a good childhood friend. We've been friends now for probably, I can't remember us not being friends, right? But my friend Jordan, he's got a channel, CFO Sports. If you're in the NFL or sports, Cowboy stuff, he's a Cowboys fan. Now I'm not a Cowboys fan, but he does a great job. But he had an idea of creating a platform where he could talk about sports. And I've seen him work and continue to be persistent, consistent, and he's growing his platform, and he's getting a lot of positive feedback, traction, and it's opening up opportunities that honestly he didn't necessarily expect. I think maybe he did, but they happen a lot quicker. And so me seeing that, that kind of inspired me to come back and say, hey, I really been wanting to do this type of platform where I'm impacting others, talking about careers. Everybody doesn't want to be one of those 6 careers, and everybody doesn't want to be an entrepreneur. Some people just want to be in a particular job or area or a field or an industry that they feel like they can add value and impact on others. And they may want to do in those other careers, but they may not want to do it all the time or their full work history on it as well. So we want to be able to share how we can transition in those aspects. But seeing Jordan, grow his channel, it was really inspiring for me. I had this idea of this concept of W.E.L.I.T, and I've really been sitting on it for a while, to be honest with you. But I talked to my lady about it, and she's like, "Go forward." But I think, and that was always supportive as well. But I think seeing Jordan actually do his situation, his platform, his having his success is just kind of inspired me to go ahead and push forward a little bit, right? Jump out on a little bit of faith and just live my truth a little bit when it comes to doing things that I want to do that are purposeful and impactful there as well. And I kind of talked to him about it just recently. He said, hey, man, just go for it, man. Nothing bad's really going to come from it, right? Other than you'll do it. And, you may have the success you want, you may not, but at least you would put yourself out there and an opportunity to succeed. So salute to Jordan for that inspiration. And that's just something, that's a situation where I've known him. So we've been, we've been friends for a long time. And so I've kind of understood his journey and where he is in life. But it could be a stranger, right? It could be someone you're just having a simple conversation with. It could be someone you're listening to on a YouTube channel that may spark some inspiration into you, right? And so if you get some inspiration, bottle that up, right? Channel that, right? Start to harness that and focus that towards your actual purpose and calling. And I hope this first episode is really just been impactful, right? Those are really the things I wanted to talk about. Just give you an introduction, talk about what we're going to talk about going forward. I've got some really good friends and people, friends of mine, colleagues, peers, individuals I've recently met that I'm going to bring on the channel. Just some things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about roles in being in technology, healthcare, right? What it's like to be, and we're going to talk about being a professional athlete, right? So you can kind of see there's a different side. It's a little bit of a twist. So I think it's something that's going to be unique that you'll find value in. We're going to talk about a lot of industries, a lot of jobs that aren't always publicized, or if they are publicized, they're not broken down in detail. I'm going to do my best to give you as much insight and content on that as possible. And through myself, my information, my research, my experiences, and through the people I'm going to bring on for these interviews, right? And I think there's some really cool people. They got a lot of cool stuff going on, and I think you'll find some value in it. As always, like I said, you'll hear me say it often. Please provide feedback. You can follow me on IG. It's MDC24, and my Twitter is OneBlessedMC. But I'm still, building it out. I'm still trying to stay lit with you all. So just remember, kind of last words I'll leave you with. If you lit and I'm lit, then we lit. So let's get it, right? Love is love. Call somebody, tell them you love them today. If you haven't, if you have, do it again. Appreciate y'all. Signing out. Peace.